Kids these days, am I doing enough? Am I doing too much? This is KTAR's Eyes on Parenting. I'm Corbin Carson. Today I'm joined by Dr. John McCain. Tell these folks what you do for a living.
I'm the director of the Lighthouse Program for high-risk teens run by Bayless Healthcare. So I spend the bulk of my day spending with teenagers that are struggling today.
All right, perfect. Well, that is kind of what we wanted to talk to you about. Kids that are dealing with stressful activities, school. For example, my 17-year-old right now, he's on summer break. He's trying to figure out how to get up early in the morning because nobody's monitoring him as much, and he wants to start getting on that college push and really being more productive. That could stress him out. What are some things parents should be looking for to recognize signs of stress?
Okay, two main signs, I think. One is irritability and what parents misinterpret as anger. Kids that are emotionally explosive, they're often seen as having anger problems. It really is, the stress is building up inside. And as a result of that thing, it pops out in what seems to be fairly minor situations. Two, changes in sleeping and eating. Sleeping more, sleeping less, eating more. Any changes in their daily routines in terms of health and how they handle themselves day to day. You want to look for significant changes.
And give me some examples. So if my kid is normally bubbly and energetic and positive, and for the last couple of days he's been very irritable, in my opinion, and snappy, what are some things that, let's talk about what are some things we can do to help them manage that stress? First
is to realize that, oddly enough, research on teens suggests that they're more stressed out than adults are, because they're just beginning their adulthood. They're facing new challenges. A lot of times parents say, what does a kid have to be stressed about? I've got a job, I've got to manage my house. But we've been doing it for a while. Kids are emerging adults. First job, first time in college, first time in serious relationships. So I think it's important to understand that they're probably scared and nervous, and to approach it in a more reassuring way. Is there something on your mind that's bothering you? As opposed to, I don't like your attitude. That's a flash word and you don't want to use with teens right away.
and then what are some tips then? When to know when to leave a kid alone, and when to know when to kind of sit them down and say, let me help you with this.
Okay, and that's a tough one because some kids really want you to be involved right away and other kids want to struggle with it alone. The best thing is to ask. Do you want to talk about this? I just noticed you're not being yourself, you've been a little off lately, you want to talk about it. Give them a choice. And if they give a choice, it gives them a little bit of control of the situation. They're more likely to engage in conversation if they feel like we're not intruding and interrogating them.
What about those kids that are like, no, leave me alone?
The ones you want to leave me alone, you leave them alone at first, and at some point, you got to make a judgment call as a parent. Is it working or not? If you leave them alone, do they pull it back together? If not, it's important that we get engaged and say, listen, I know you want to do things on your own. It's important you're independent, but everybody needs help sometimes.
Awesome. Well, that's going to do it. This has been KTAR's Eyes on Parenting. I'm Corbin Carson, father of 4, one in college, one in high school, one in kindergarten, one in diapers. Chances are I'm facing a question you're facing. If so, hit me up on Twitter. Maybe we'll use your topic on our next show. I'd like to thank Dr. McCain for joining us. We'll see you next time, folks.